welcome to this edition of Lee's Open Mic, and we got on the show with us Donnell Rawlings, who...
It's a thin line between fries and shakes. Ooh, the meanest burger in the world could be the leanest burger in the world if you cook it that way. You keep frying. She might be hiding something inside that's gonna really hurt you one day. That it says Lee's Open Mic, so I'm just assuming I can do whatever.
You can.
And that's my rendition of, you know, being in a relationship with a woman that wants to feed you stuff that could give you high blood pressure and high cholesterol. Yeah. It's a thin line between fries and shakes. And I wanted the people to, am I this right? I wanted you guys to understand there is a thin line between fries and shakes. Yeah. Whether you know it or not, you know it now. Yes.
I thought both of them were bad for you, though, Donnell.
I didn't ask you to tear apart my song. I just wanted you to. I didn't think you were going to fact check it. I thought you were going to think that I was just talking to people that go for anything I say.
Sorry.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I didn't mean to do the forensics on it.
Yeah, you did. Forensics. Yeah. I know you probably watch. You marathon probably first 48.
That's right, I do.
I know when you watch first 48, you can solve the crime in the first 42 minutes.
Yeah, I'm out in 5 minutes. Oh, I know who did it.
It was Ray Ray. It's always Ray Ray.
Ray Ray.
It's always Ray
Where's
Ray.
Ray? Why don't they go ask Ray Ray?
They don't know because Ray Ray. Nobody knows Ray Ray's real name. It's always Ray Ray, and it's, I guarantee it's always Ray Ray, and it's always Little Man. I don't know. I'm sorry. No disrespect. If your name is Little Man, there's a chance that you're going to spend some time in prison. Switch your name, bro.
Yeah. Good to see you, by the way.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming in.
Yes, sir.
Now, folks going to know you obviously from the Chappelle Show.
A couple other things, but that's the thing that was kind of like,
Yeah.
that was the thing that just went, everybody saw it. I've done things before that, but I have to honestly say, of the body of work that I have, that the thing that I'm most recognized from is the Chappelle Show.
Well, in my opinion, I mean, that's one of the best shows ever on television as far as setting a standard for comedy in America during its. Matter of fact, you guys, and I've said this before, did irony as good, if not better, than anybody.
It was, and one of the things I really enjoyed about the show, like we touched on, like it was always some type of subliminal message there. We touched on social issues, and we talked about racial issues in a way where it could just be fun and not angry.
Right.
And that's one of the things I really enjoyed about the show. Like you could talk about race, you could talk about things that's going on in America, and it doesn't always have to be mean. It don't have to be angry, and you can laugh about a certain thing. And when you can make somebody laugh, that's when they're open to listen to what you have to say.
Yeah, as a fellow comic, the reason I loved it was you guys never preached. You served the joke first.
Yes,
the message got through.
Right.
But it had to be funny first and foremost.
It had to be funny, if that being your background, you know, like you can try to make a point all you want, but if you don't have a joke in it, it's just preaching. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But if you can find a way to laugh and make people think at the same time, I think that's the best thing and most gratifying thing coming out of stand-up.
And then there was just the pure silliness and nonsense, and one of my favorite sketches was that Players Haters Ball. I mean,
I love, you know, a real fun, that story was about haters. Yeah. And I'll tell you the depth of hating with that. When Neil Brennan, who was one of the directors and co-executive producer, I would ask him, what's the next sketch I'm going to be in? He was like, he called me B. He was like, Player Haters Ball, B. I was like, okay. So next day, I was looking at a call sheet, and I didn't see my name on the call sheet. I was like, yo, I thought I was supposed to be in the Player Haters Ball. He said, oh man, I forgot, B. I'm like, what type of hating is that? So he said, he was like, well, just make up something. So that night, I had to come up with this character. I called the wardrobe. They was like, what do you want to do? I was like, give me an Old Temptation suit. I used to love the movie Five Hearts Beats. I wanted something like Eddie Kane would wear, right? Yeah. And then my hair is bald by no choices of mine. So I was like, everybody's seen me bald and never seen me with hair. I went to hair and makeup. I got the wig. So I'm putting this together like, as I'm on set the next day, and I went to props, I was like, I want Jerry curl juice. I want to be flamboyant. I wanted to be in a champagne bottle. Yeah. They was like, that's going to make too much of a mess, so they gave me an aerosol can. So I got this character. I'm messing with everybody on set. I'm dancing like Michael Jackson. And I was like, Neil, what's my name? He was like, I don't know, B. Name yourself something. So I walked past this mirror. I walked past this mirror. And I looked at myself and I said, oh man, I'm beautiful. It was only in my mind. I didn't say it out loud, right? Yeah. And in my mind, I'm like this, I feel beautiful, which was so crazy. Right. And I went to Neil, I said, man, I'm beautiful. He was like, boom, that's it. And then I walked on, the first thing I had to do was a testimonial, introduce myself. I improv the whole thing. Yeah. And I pretty much put myself on the show. The character did not exist on paper anywhere. I built him. And Beautiful became that character that everybody fell in love with.
Love that sketch.
Yeah, hit me 2 times. We even redid it on SNL.
Yeah.
Did you see the SNL
I think
episode?
I do remember you guys doing that.
Yeah, we
right.
did it. SNL, they did a Walking Dead sketch.
Yeah, right.
And I got a chance to bring that character back. And I hadn't worked with Dave in a while. And dude is so intimidating to work with because once you think a scene is over, it's always some other funny stuff. So you got to be on your P's and Q's or you're looking like crazy. And when he was like, we got to make up something, I was like, what am I going to say? He was like, what are you going to say? I said, man, I don't know what I'm going to say. I'm just going to follow your lead. Yeah. And I knew I had the prop of the can. So even if I didn't say anything, it was almost like my version of Jay and Sal and Bob. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Even if I didn't say anything, I knew my presence was going to be known. As soon as I hit that can,
yeah.
And I was like,
that's like a rim shot
yeah,
for the joke, for his joke, and you got the rim
anything
shot.
Anything he has to do is, he was like, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, boom, hit me 2 times, bitches. And that was it. But it was so much fun doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, the dynamic of the whole group, the way it worked, and Patrice, was great in that as well.
No, it's so funny you said that because I was just watching. For some reason, the show Chappelle's show was so iconic that almost anything that happens in pop culture, there's some reference to Chappelle's show. And there was one of those outtakes that, it wasn't part of the show, but I remember it was myself, Dave, Rich Voss, Patrice O'Neal, and Charlie Murphy. And we had just worked, in this particular scene, we had just worked 16 hours. Everybody was gassed out. I had not one joke left. Yeah. Patrice had not one joke left. Nobody had a joke left. And Dave was the only one that was still going, right? And then they showed that picture of Rosie O'Donnell, and they say, well, it looked like she wears boxes with the bloop hole in the back, right? And you could just see us like, I can't believe he said that. Yeah. And that's just how it was working that set. It was like never a dull moment. This dude always kept it going. Yeah.
It was like a really hip Don Rickles kind of vibe going on with what you guys were doing. Where did you grow up, Donnell?
I grew up between Washington, D.C. and Alexandria, Virginia. Yeah. I was born in Washington, D.C., raised in Alexandria, Virginia. Yeah. Right after high school, I didn't go to college. And I didn't want to be one of those guys stuck not knowing what he wanted to do with not giving himself a chance in life or anything. So I joined the Air Force. I joined the Air Force. I was a cop in the Air Force for 4 years. I got out. I was waiting to be a D.C. police officer, and I was working a regular 9-to-5 job where people at my job would go to comedy clubs just for fun, like just co-working, like fun. We had free passes. And I started going as a heckler. I would go and heckle, and I became good at heckling. I became so good at heckling that people started to come to the show to see me heckle. They was like, yo, is that a-hole dude gonna be up here trying to ruin the show? Yeah, we want to see him. Then I got so cocky, people started coming to see me heckle. I tried to negotiate a door deal with the club owner. I'm not lying. You know how crazy that sounds, former comic. Like I'm 4 weeks into like not even open mic. I went to him and I was like, yeah, listen, I know I've increased your business by 30%. I think now is the time that we should come and make a day. You look, are you crazy? And then I had to go through the process, and they dared me to go on stage. So that dare turned into a career of 25 years. And in comedy, like wherever club you start in, there's certain rites of passages, things that they let you do. Like the first thing when I started in DC was to be able to get into the club without having to pay $10. Then after that, you got to being able to not pay $10 to being able to get a free soft drinks. Yeah. But now here was a kicker when you knew you was coming up. When you got to go behind the counter and pick up the soda gun and make as much soda as you want. Man, I think I probably gave myself diabetes one weekend, man. Letting everybody know. I worked this club. Coke or Pepsi. But, and like I say, 25 years later, I'm still in it.
I love that. Try to get a door deal.
I did. But you know what? Now I don't think that
How do you feel about hecklers now?
I don't like
on the other side.
When the first time I performed, I realized how awful it is to be a heckler. Yeah. But usually a heckler is just somebody that wants to do what you're doing, but just don't have the balls to do it. Right. That's the thing that separates them. But once I did that, I couldn't ever see myself doing it again. But a lot of times with hecklers, the way to deal with some hecklers is just ignore them. They want, like, if you don't add any fuel to it, you don't put any wind on the coals, they can't get themselves together. But it's not a good idea to heckle me because I'm cocky to say this. If you try to heckle me, like, it's not going to end well for you. Right. I'm not like trying to be nice. I'm just going to destroy. Yeah. Fire and fury. What did he say? Fury.
Yeah.
What was that?
Shock and awe.
Yeah, shock and awe and fire. You would be met with the most fire and fury, whatever Trump said about Kim Jong-un, whatever.
Oh, that guy, yeah. Well, because first of all, you're amplified. You got a microphone.
And that's what a lot of comics don't understand. It's like, but it's your pride. You want to like, oh yeah, your go. Like,
no.
and it's so funny you said it because I've dealt with hecklers where I'm like, listen, there's no way you can win. My mic is out in yours. Okay, say something. And they'll be like, and I'm like, ah! And I drown the whole thing. Like, So it's like win. It's all strategy.
Yeah, man, it's so great to talk to you, and again, a big fan, and I'm glad you hung out with us today. Again,
and I will say this: if you liked me on The Wire, if you liked me in Spider-Man 2, if you liked me on Shaquille's Comedy All-Star, for any of the things I've done, the thing that controls my life, and I'm in more control of, is stand-up comedy. Come to the show. I guarantee you, you will have a good time. Fresh, funny material for the whole, well, not for the whole family, but for people that can come in.
You gotta be 21 to get in the club.
Yeah, you have to be 21.
Yeah. All right. Donnell Rawlings. That does it for this version of Lee's Open Mic.